Wow, today is a powerful podcast, and it's a topic that has affected me most of my life. Welcome back to That Recovery Life. I am Jake.
And I am Maya. Today, we are diving into a topic that is often misunderstood, but touches almost everyone in addiction recovery in some way. We are talking about codependency.
If you have ever lost yourself in someone else's chaos, if you have ever confused control for love, if your identity depends on how someone else is doing, this episode is for you.
Codependency is like the shadow addiction. It hides behind the substance use, behind the compulsive behaviors, behind the emotional wreckage. And if we do not face it, it will keep sabotaging our recovery.
So, let's get into it. What is codependency? Why does it matter? How does it show up in addiction? How does it destroy relationships? And most importantly, how do we heal from it?
Let's start with the basics. What is codependency? Codependency is not just being too nice or too caring. It is not just about being in a bad relationship. Codependency is a behavioral condition, a survival strategy born from dysfunction. At its core, it means that I need you to be okay for me to be okay.
Exactly. It is this chronic focus on someone else's needs, moods, problems, and behaviors while ignoring your own. And it almost always comes with denial. I did not know I was codependent until I was already years deep in recovery from alcohol. The truth hit hard. I had not just been addicted to drinking. I had been addicted to people.
Yeah, for me, it started in childhood. Home was chaotic, so I became the fixer, the hero, the one who kept the peace. That became my role, and I carried it into every relationship like a badge of honor. I thought being selfless meant I was good, but I was not being selfless. I was disappearing.
Codependency is a loss of self. You are so focused on rescuing, helping, or controlling others that your own needs, desires, and identity get erased. And here is the kicker. A lot of us in addiction recovery come from trauma, from emotionally unsafe homes. Codependency was how we survived.
So when we find ourselves in relationships with addicts, or we are the addicts ourselves, codependency feeds the cycle. It says, "Let me fix you." Or it says, "Let me use you to avoid fixing myself."
So, why does codependency matter in addiction recovery? This matters because if we do not treat the codependency, we stay sick. You can put down the drink, stop the drugs, block the gambling app, delete the hookup number, and still be stuck in toxic patterns that drive you back to the edge.
Addiction is not just about the substance. It is about the pain underneath. Codependency keeps that pain alive. It keeps you attached to dysfunction. You do not learn to sit with your own feelings because you are always managing someone else's.
And here is where it gets brutal. A lot of us in recovery fall into one of two roles. Either we are the addict, being enabled by a codependent partner or parent, or we are the codependent one, trying to save someone else from their addiction while losing ourselves in the process.
Both are part of the same dance. Both are stuck in fear, shame, control, and denial. That is why real healing has to go deeper than just sobriety. It has to touch the relational wounds, the identity wounds, the family system that raised us.
Have you ever heard of the drama triangle? If you have lived through codependency, you have been in it. It is this toxic cycle of three roles: the victim, the rescuer, and the persecutor. And it is one of the most powerful ways to understand what goes wrong in codependent relationships.
Let me break it down. The victim feels helpless. This is happening to me. I cannot cope. The rescuer swoops in. Let me help you. Let me save you. And the persecutor brings the blame. This is your fault. You never listen. You are always screwing up.
The wild part is, we rotate roles constantly. I have been the victim, begging for help. I have been the rescuer, trying to fix someone else's life. And I have been the persecutor, lashing out when things did not go my way.
Same. I lived there for years. The triangle feels familiar. It feels like love, but it is actually emotional chaos. Nobody is responsible for themselves. Nobody is empowered. Everyone is trapped.
The goal of recovery is to step out of the triangle, to stop rescuing, to stop blaming, to stop playing small, and start owning your own story.
So how does codependency damages relationships? Codependency does not just hurt us. It poisons the people we love. It turns love into control. It turns care into manipulation. It turns connection into obligation.
I have seen this in marriages, in friendships, in families. You think you are helping, but what you are actually doing is enabling. You are protecting someone from consequences. You are robbing them of growth.
And here is the truth we do not want to admit. Sometimes codependency feels good. It gives us a sense of purpose. It lets us avoid our own pain. It says, look at how loyal I am. Look at how hard I love. But it is not love. It is fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of being rejected. Fear of being powerless.
When we love from fear, we destroy intimacy. Real intimacy can only happen when two whole people choose each other freely. Not out of guilt, not out of addiction, not out of rescue fantasies. That is what codependency blocks.
So, how do you heal from codependency? So, how do we get out? How do we recover from codependency? First, we have to name it. No more denial. No more pretending we are just helpers or loyal partners. We have to see the patterns, the people-pleasing, the martyrdom, the need to control.
Then, we get support. Codependency is too deeply rooted to fix alone. This is where therapy comes in. This is where support groups like Codependence Anonymous or Al-Anon come in. These rooms saved my life.
Same here. Sitting in those circles, hearing people speak the truth I was too scared to admit. That was the beginning of real healing. And then, of course, the 12 steps.
Yes, the steps are not just for chemical addictions. They are for any unmanageable life. Step 1 says we admitted we were powerless, not just over alcohol or drugs, but over people, over outcomes, over other people's choices.
And step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. That hit hard, because my sanity was gone. I had lost myself in someone else's chaos. I needed God to bring me back.
Healing means setting boundaries. Boundaries are not punishments. They are clarity. They say, this is me. That is you. Here is what I will and will not accept. It also means finding your voice. What do you want? What do you feel? What do you need? A lot of us have no idea. We have been living through others for so long, we forgot we exist.
But you do exist, and you matter. Your story matters. Your healing matters. You can break the cycle. You can learn to love without losing yourself.
When I finally walked away from my most toxic relationship, I was shaking. I thought the world would end. I thought I was abandoning someone. But really, I was choosing myself for the first time. And I did not die. I got stronger.
I used to think my worth was measured by how much pain I could carry for others. Today, I know my worth is sacred. I do not have to rescue anyone to be valuable. I just have to be real.
Recovery from codependency is not about being cold or selfish. It is about being honest. About being responsible for your own feelings. About letting others be responsible for theirs.
You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to stop trying to save people. You are allowed to choose peace over drama.
So if you are listening right now and codependency feels too familiar, know this. You are not broken. You are not alone, and you do not have to stay stuck.
This recovery path is not easy, but it is holy. It is about reclaiming yourself, about healing the inner child who thought love meant abandoning yourself.
Let go of the triangle. Step into the truth. Find your community. Do the work. You are worth it.
We see you. We believe in you. We are walking this path with you. Join our community focused on addiction recovery by clicking the like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Are you or someone you love struggling with codependency? This is that recovery life.
Until next time, stay honest, stay grounded, and keep showing up.